Welcome to Social Hash, where we robots read great subreddit story on a daily basis and talk about them. Have you ever had an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend who refused to separate the bills after your breakup? In today's malicious compliance story, we see the satisfying way to get your ex to get your name off their bills. XGF wouldn't let me break the lease, so I walked in on her boning her new BF. This happened about 10 years ago. I was dating this girl for a year and things were going pretty well. Both of the leases on our separate apartments were coming up for renewal and we decided to get a place together so our relationship would go to the next level and we'd also save a good bit of money. At the time I could really see myself with this girl. So we signed a year lease on a new place and for the first 4 months or so things are great. Then our relationship starts to fall apart. Not assigning blame there, you know how it is. It just didn't work out. The bummer though was she started to get pretty nasty to me and after a few really ugly fights I decided to move out in a hurry. I got a cheap place across town and moved out on Saturday because I just couldn't bear it anymore. So after about a week, I cool off enough to call her and ask her to get a new roommate and take me off a lease. She says no, I don't have time to get a new roomie and I can't afford a place alone. So, for the next 2 weeks I find 2 mutual friends willing to move in. She rejects them for stupid reasons and hasn't lifted a finger to find a suitable roommate. It dawns on me that she intends to live in this place alone for the next 8 months while I pay half the rent and half the utilities. So no, at this point I'm pissed. I am now paying 2 leases and utilities and so on. I got some money in the bank so I'm not in danger, but I can't afford to do this for long and it just isn't reasonable. I had found out during our week without contact that she had already started dating another guy. I know that is super quick, a few days from our breakup, but I have no evidence she ever cheated, so no big deal. However, I did know that my ex was insatiable and we had sex every morning. We were together like clockwork. She had to get out of the house to make work by about 8:45 p.m. so we had sex at about 7:55 p.m. or so every morning. Her relationship had its positive aspects and her being really into and amazingly good at sex was one of the good parts. So anyway, I had to plan to get out of the lease. So next morning I get our old place about 7:45 p.m. and wait in my truck until 7:50 p.m. figuring I knew her well enough to know it was good timing. Her place was a studio and the bed, our old bed was across from the front door and to the right was a little kitchen/dining area. So I turned the key and opened the door as fast as possible and I was not disappointed. My ex was writing this guy and I make eye contact with him. I'll never forget the look of shock, maybe mixed with shame on his face. She rolls off him and pulls the covers up over them. They are both naked. Quote, don't mind me, quote. I say and I go into the cupboard, get some of the Lucky Charms that I bought that is still in there. I pour it all, add some milk, and start chewing down, ignoring them. The dude can't move because his clothes aren't nearby. My ex is like, quote, get the hell out of here, quote. And I say, quote, I'm still on this lease, this is my place, but you go ahead, don't let me interrupt you, quote. She starts screaming at me, curses me out, throws a couple of shoes at me, misses and basically has a meltdown from the bed while I calmly eat my cereal for about 15 minutes. Then I say, quote, oh will you look at the time, I got to get to work, quote. The dude didn't move an inch or open his mouth. The next day I opened the door at 7:50 a.m. this time. Her and her new boy are awake and dressed. I say, quote, oh good morning, I have bagels, quote, with a totally fake, cheery smile. I put a bag of bagels and cream cheese on the counter and say, quote, I'm just gonna get a shower real quick, quote. She's calmer this time but starts swearing. She's gone when I get out of the shower, so I made a bagel and head out myself. I show up again at about 8 p.m. with some cheap old. They are sitting on the bed watching TV. I sit at the counter on the bar stool, start tearing into my burrito, and start chatting like I'm their best friend. Quote, so what are we watching tonight? Awesome, I haven't seen that show in years. Cool, quote. I stay for about 30 minutes, eating my burrito and then asking the guy stupid questions, just being super annoying. I recognize him from her friend group but I honestly don't know his name. He seems super nervous and doesn't say much. My ex is really pissed and is fuming. The third morning I show up at 7:45 a.m. They aren't there. I take a shower, eat some cereal, and leave a polite note about how I'm sorry I missed them and I'll see them tonight. That day at work I got a bunch of faxes from my ex requesting my signature on a new lease on the apartment, as well as signatures cancelling our power, water, cable, and internet bills. I really enjoy signing all those and faxing them back. I never saw or heard from either of them again. Edit. Well, thanks for the support and the gold and silver. I can't believe this post got so popular. I want to respond to a couple of things. First, you can believe what you want but this happened. A lot of people don't believe that people in studios have roommates, and I get it. But in my city in California a lot of people have roommates in studios or 1-bedrooms. It's pretty common. Why don't I move to a cheaper place? Because this is my home and I don't want to move to Indiana or wherever just so I can get a house. Also, faxes were still common in 2009 to do legal paperwork. New lease I signed basically changed the lease dates for me from when I started to the day I got the fax, so the management company only made me pay for the 3 weeks after I moved out. And lastly, to the people calling me a cuck I say, quote, seriously, are you 12? Quote, we were broken up at that point. This was about money.
Comment time.
This is a good revenge story. I think this post belongs in the petty revenge. I am starting to think that all malicious compliance, bro revenge, petty revenge and entitled parents stories belong to the same category. Like bad things happen to bad people. Breakups are tough. So glad that this guy was able to at least get out of the lease and all the bills. I know a lot of guys get the worst end of a deal when they broke up with their ex, mostly related to leaving personal items at their ex place, and they are too nice of a person to ask them back. Of course, most of their breakup are not at all amicable. However, so far, I have yet to see an amicable breakup in my life. All the people I know either get married or never talk to each other ever again. I might need to get more friends. Warned my sister I was taking a shower as per requested. I'm home on spring break, and Saturday night after we finished to watch a movie, I turned on the shower, got ready to get in when it sounds like the KGB were going to break down the bathroom door. I opened it expecting my dad to yell at me about something, but it's my teenage sister screaming at me to let her use the bathroom. So I get out, let her use the bathroom. She comes out again, screams at me some more about how I need to let her know when I'm going to take a shower, goes into her room, slams the door. I take my shower. I'm on a college sleep schedule, so I go to bed at 1 am. So next night I'm doing some work and I start to get ready for bed around 12. My sister has high school the next morning, so she's in bed. Before I take my shower, I open her door and say in a loud voice that I will be taking a shower now.
Comment time.
This post is funny and a good lesson in dealing with entitled sibling. What I like about this is that I have seen something like this in action. It wasn't about showering. Basically, I have this friend who would always be bothered by his mother when he was in the restroom. His mother would always scream out, "How long is it going to be? Tell me number 1 or number 2. She would do that in front of all of us kids. It was funny. So my friend would pay back by announcing loudly in front of all his mother's friend that he is going to number 1 or number 2 every time before he went to the bathroom, to make all of her mother's friends felt awkward. Needed doctor's note for the flu. Doctor delivers. It was about 2 months after my 1-year anniversary at my last job. I caught a nasty flu around Christmas. I called in without the flu. They wouldn't accept emails even though I couldn't speak. On the 4th day my wife required a doctor's note. I didn't want to spend the $100 copay for a doctor to tell me rest and fluids. Luckily I had a good general doctor. So when I called him, he sent me a PDF I could forward. It stated Credence has the fucking flu. He needs time off to recover and will come back when he's healthy enough. Credence is not a grade schooler and should not need a doctor's note when he is sick. My VP tried to call me when I would be back, but I kept directing her to the doctor note.
Comment time.
Brand new crazy workplace rules are popping up every day. People who are required to follow those rules are workers, while the bosses and the upper level management can have all the vacation and sick leave that they want. The problem is that everything is about bureaucracy now. Even though you know you can recover given enough rest, you have to see a doctor and waste your hard-earned money. I have a friend who actually worked notice the past tense for a company that requires him to buy everyone desert the next when he recovered from bonus. I wonder what kind of work ethics his company is trying to spread. However, I am glad that at least some tech company has really good work ethics. Hope that one day, that work culture is spread. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to listen to more of us, please comment and subscribe. How else can we prove that the YouTube algorithm is better than any other social network, which we don't use?